Hey, what's up, guys? How y'all doing today? Well, baby, if your name is Drake, you have proven Kendrick Lamar right. Once a lame, always a lame, y'all. Drake is suing UMG and Kendrick for a RICO act. He is saying that UMG, Spotify, and Kendrick were involved in a RICO plot. We have the court documents. At first, when I heard this, I said, this can't be. Drake is just trying to step on Kendrick's toes. Y'all, this lame actually sued Kendrick Lamar. We're going to get through all the legal documents. Drake is such a loser. And the thing is, I get why he's suing, right? You're mad, you're lost. You literally show you are your mama's cry. This is the most Karen-esque sore loser. What are you doing? But the fact that he still refuses to believe that Kendrick won this battle fair and square, y'all, where y'all want to start at? Y'all want to start with the court documents, or you want to start with the way that Twitter is dragging Drake? Actually, we're gonna have to start with the way Twitter is dragging Drake. Drake is this man. So let's get into this, right? So listen, Billboard was the first people that broke this. I got the court documents. We'll go over them in a second. But they said Kendrick Lamar, meanwhile, has also spent his entire career associated with UMG. First through the TDE imprint, which is distributed by Interscope, and more recently through his own company, PG Lang, which he licensed through Interscope. In technical terms, Drake's filing that he just filed today is not yet a full lawsuit, but a so-called pre-action petition, a procedure under New York law that aims to secure information before filing a lawsuit. Spotify declined to comment. UMG did not immediately return a request for a comment. Now, this story is developing, but it's already developed because we got the legal papers. We are going to get into this. Monica said that's why he had all the white streamers. He could never explain this to some ninjas, right? On top of that, Play said, and Drake's going to try to prove that they use bots and artificial methods to inflate the song by exposing how he has benefited from those same methods in the past. Again, he has initiated legal action against Universal Music Group and Spotify over allegations that the two companies conspired to artificially inflate the popularity of Kendrick Lamar's They Not Like Us. Let me just say this, right? Because I never thought a villain. You know, you always see it on movies, the way villains are their own undoing. I never thought that Drake would be this lame, this corny, and this dumb to be his own downfall. You literally went from being one of rap's biggest draws, even though now we see what Kanye was talking about. Remember when Kanye said, where's Lucien, serve your master, ninja, right? Drake is like, I was a free man now. I was a free man, right? And he literally acted like he Dobby from Harry Potter. Remember when Dobby was like, Dobby, a free house elf? J.K. Rowling was so problematic with that one. But he literally is trying to sue UMG. Now, let me just say this. UMG know where, let me just say this. Put me on the side. UMG knows where all your bodies are buried, Drake. They helped you bury them. UMG literally gave you all those little violent delights that had violent ends. UMG did all this. Second of all, what's wrong with this? This is a very corny Canadian ninja. No offense to the Canadian people. Play. Tory Lanez did this. Now Drake's doing it. You're trying to gaslight us into what really happened. We're getting ready to legal documents in 1 minute, but let me just say this. For you not to act like Not Like Us was not the song of the summer. For you not to act like I didn't have that mug on my YouTube playlist. They Not Like Us. What is the Braids? Literally, y'all already know every second. For you not to act like Kendrick wasn't pop locking in those streaks. For you not to act like Kendrick's album that just dropped isn't doing what it needs to do. I'm literally trying to do the two-step reincarnated. Life goes on. Literally, for you to not act like He did the big one with They Not Like Us. Low key, Kendrick did the big one with Like That with Future. And Future, everybody thought that they was going to take Drake down and take the spoils of war. But Kendrick said, I'm a selfish ninja. The crown is heavy. Kendrick literally was like, Future thought they was all going to get on. And Kendrick was the breakout star. And then he did the typical Gemini tricks when he's like, sorry, buddy. But Future was like, yo, it's our time to perform. And he's like, sorry, buddy, it's West Coast only. Future was on one of the biggest rap diss songs in a decade, and he ain't never get to perform his part. I said, that's some Gemini magic. But all jokes aside, right? Remember when Kanye West was like, where's Lucienne Sub, your master ninja? Remember when he said that mess? Here's the thing. I think Drake is filing this because he wants to get out of his contract with UMG. I think it's foolhardy. I think it's stupid. I think it's some Tory Lanez Canadian, you corny, just take your L, ninja. I think it's dumb. I think it's stupid, but I think that's what Drake is trying to do. He's trying to get out of his contract with UMG. And he thinks because he knows the way UMG artificially made his career, that he can basically be like, I know where all your bodies are buried. You better let me out of my contract, right? Because at the end of the day, Kanye hinted at this. Drake is a glorified slave to UMG. He gets, even now, the way he announced that he's going on tour in Australia, he's not even allowed to stop touring. He has to keep going. All artists say that even though you make a lot of money in touring, it's very physically grueling. Drake has been touring for a while and he hasn't been able to sleep. So even though, and I do think that 400 billion, Kanye said it was all cap. It was probably close to 100 million and a lot, but you had to do a lot to get that money. And UMG doesn't need them anymore. Also, I think low key, Drake isn't selling the way he used to sell. I think that maybe with tour, but he doesn't want to do tours anymore. Anyway, right? I think that this is his way of getting out of his contract, and he's going to expose them for getting in the way they artificially inflate numbers. Now, how are you? And he also thinks he's stepping on the, rollout of Kendrick's new album. How are you simultaneously exposing yourself and you somehow think that you're somehow hurting UMG or Kendrick when they know everything there is to do, right? Let's get into what the netizens are saying really quick because it's funny, and then we're gonna get right into the lawsuit, okay? The papers, if you will. Listen, like Play said, he's going to try and prove they use bots and artificial methods to inflate the song by exposing how he has benefited from the same methods in the past. All right, Drake. Then Craig Bro Dude said, Rico, he literally made a Rico call for rap bops, has sent me to the fucking moon. And at the end of the day, Drake is the biggest thing for those rap bots, because let's not forget that while Not Like Us was blazing the airways, Drake's bots were all in the comments trying to convince us that Kendrick lost and he won. I remember those Drake bots. Hotspot Dan Dasani said, Drake thinks UMG did this because they did it for him. Me think Drake wants out. Oh, she thinks the same thing. Drake wants out of his deal with UMG as part of a potential settlement and to tarnish Kendrick in the process. Following the suit means Drake has given up on winning back the culture. He's a pop star for him on out. Drake ain't no pop star. But he tries to go pop. They don't want him. And that's a funny thing Drake don't realize. A lot of these losers that are his fans, not the people that just casually listen to Drake, I mean the diehard Drake glazers, they like hard Drake. They like Drake when he acts tough. If Drake goes pop, he will lose whatever fans he has left. I'm just saying. Let's keep going. There was one other comment I read. Right? They said, according to the filing, a petition by Drake and his company, Frozen Moments LLC, asking for the court to order UMG and Spotify to preserve all relevant documents and communications in advance of a pending lawsuit. UMG has so far refused to engage with Drake over the issue, instead pointing the finger at Kendrick and telling Drake to sue Kendrick Lamar, not UMG. UMG ain't trash for that. He's the one that ended your career. Sue him. Okay. Anyway, Lawrence Burney said the dude whose face was on the cover of every Spotify playlist, even genres he has no connection to, when he dropped an album some years back, is accusing people of having their popularity inflated. Again, I think that when Kendrick's Not Like Us hit, Drake's number wasn't hitting. UMG was like, you know what? Just let him go. Let him do his own thing. And without Drake's artificial inflation of numbers, I think Kendrick just bulldozed him. Listen, they said Drake's PR definitely wrote this paragraph because Billboard said that UMG refused to comment. So this is Drake's team using the media to put a narrative out with zero proof. Okay. Again, listen, Drake, what this thing that Drake put out? This is it. This is EP just said, mind you, this was Drake a few years ago. Spotify is issuing refunds to subscribers who helped spam by Drake. They put Drake's face on everything. So basically, Drake is exposing UMG. I just want to say this. Drake, the neighborhood publicist, says this is what he get for trying to pull it into Negro styles, knowing it wasn't built for it. Listen, let me just say this, right? And this is all I'm going to say about the Drake before we get into the court documents. At the end of the day, also, Drake's been exposed for actually wearing a lace front. If you guys don't know, there was a huge takedown of Drake and his man unit. He took off his man unit braids. He now has a bald spot in the middle of his head. This is FC Yaya. What's up, Yaya? Said either Kendrick got Drake stressed out or that hairpiece Tisa tells that Drake wears pulled his hair out because it's looking a little patchy on his head top. Now, listen, anybody that's worn a bad lace front or kept it in too long or it was installed the wrong way, you know what it is when it pulls your hair out. Drake leaned down. Let me put this on a summer screen and go, Drake leaned down and yes, this is me being petty, staying in a woman's place, talking about lace fronts. Look at this. We just saw Drake's braid man unit, thick braids, doing this, blah, blah, blah. Drake, when he got mad at his black community, shaved his braids off and said, I ain't never wearing the braids. Then he went on a live stream and said that rap's gotten weird. Drake, you was the one on 4K camera beating your meat on 4K camera, talking about, and then made a song about it, talking about there's only one big D and it's video proof, and thought you really ate, and all your glazers was like, yeah, this video proof. And I'm like, what is going on? This is getting boondocks. This is giving, I need some thug loving. It was getting weird. You literally made your own blank tape, released it, which looking back, that does seem like a humiliation ritual. Whoever made you do that humiliation ritual, it wasn't good enough because they still ruined your career. You did all this stuff, and now look, we can clearly see hair pulled out, edges. There's no way this man that has that giant bald spot and those thinning around there, there's no way that man had those braids in. Drake is going bald from. And remember when I told y'all in my video, please go watch it because I show receipts on Drake's man unit. I said in my video that I believe that Drake's hairdresser hates him. I also pointed out that there were certain times that Drake's braids lifted too far off his scalp. And I said, I know what it is when you are throwing on a lace front, but you don't feel like braiding your hair down and you're like, whatever, you just throw it in your ponytail. Like, ain't nobody gonna know. I'm just going to the market, right? The only thing is, Drake, you wasn't going to the market. You was sitting courtside. Women of the internet and men that wear man units too. Ain't no shame in wearing man units. This is proof that Drake was wearing a man unit, and probably he had to stop wearing it because like every time else you get it installed and it looks good at first, it was too tight and it started pulling his edges out. The man got his mama's hair. The follicles can't hold. The follicles can't hold. Anyway, at the end of the day, baby, that's the top of Drake's head. That is the top. And I dare y'all to tell me that that is some type of pattern. Baby, I know hair pulled out from thread too tight when I see it. Anyway, let's get into this, right? Let me stop playing and get into this. Devon Beachwood said Drake is going to mess around and get caught up like Diddy by suing UMG. Devon, thank you so much for, is it Devon or Devon? I'm going to call you Devon until I hear different. I completely agree with you. Listen, Diddy, first of all, UMG paid. This is the petition. We're about to get into it. UMG paid for all of Drake's shenanigans. They knew about the shenanigans. They fed the shenanigans. They encouraged it. The fact that UMG owes 80% of all music in the world. The fact that you think that you are going up against UMG and they are not going to air you out, you are a fool, Drake. You are foolhardy. There is something wrong with you. But this type of misplaced ego is how he got caught up with Kendrick. This is how you lost your career with Kendrick. All you have to do is just take your L. Act like a man and take your L. Baby, everybody suffers an ego death. Everybody. Anyone that hasn't suffered an ego death is lying. Everybody suffers an ego death. It's part of life. So what? Take your lickings and go back out on the field. He couldn't do that. He suffered an ego death. He wanted to lie about it. He wanted to conceal. He wanted to gaslight. He wanted to place bots. Then he wanted to say that Kendrick cheated after he was the one cheating for all these years. Then he wanted to say it wasn't real. Then he wanted to get Fluffy Dimmicks and everybody else out there saying this and saying that. And now you want white streamers because you've forsaken Black culture. Skedaddle. We don't care. You ain't going to break into pop either. But why? Because of your attitude. You are a sore loser. And now when that didn't work, you want to burn it all down. And now you're suing UMG. Now, here's the thing. I think UMG's done a lot of dirt. Not like that. I mean, like with the Diddy stuff, with the a Little Rod stuff. Like, I have my own thoughts about UMG. There are thoughts. I do not have any proof, but they are thoughts. So I think this is great. But the fact that you are going for Rico and the fact that you are so stupid, you don't know these people are about to bury you, Drake. That little ranch in Texas, you haven't jumped into the Latino market yet or the pop market. All you talking about rap is getting weird. You were the weirdo in rap, Drake. Rap is getting weird right now. You were the weirdo. Who makes their own mixtape? And when people don't realize and they're just like, nah, that couldn't be him. You literally go and it's like, yeah, that was me. There's only one D and it's video proof. Anyway, have y'all streamed Kendrick's album? The album is really, really good. Let's show us some love just so we can tell Drake we don't like him. You still not like us. And by not like us, you have literally crossed over. You are not like Black culture. And now anybody that's not a lame or a sore loser or a liar or a cheater, it's like, yeah, you not like us either. You literally got every community on this earth being like, yeah, we don't claim you. Like the Jewish congregation would like to send Kendrick back to his dad's side. You know, Kendrick, not Kendrick. The Jewish congregation would like to send Drake back to his dad's side. Drake's dad's side is like, we would like to nominate him to the Hispanic convention. Hispanic is like, we formally would like to pass this on to the native. Anyway, y'all, Drake is so stupid and such a dumb loser. Let's get into these legal documents and break it down as only thing. Listen, J. Cole is amazing. For some reason, I've been listening to They Know and watching the video. In the back of the drive, in the back of the club, in the badges saying she down for whatever. In the back of his mind is Coretta. He knows. He knows. I think he knows. Anyway, let's get into this. Drake is such a loser, and he just literally put the nail in his coffin. You want to get out of your contract because you think if you go independent, there's no money. You literally are letting us know in this lawsuit that UMG has spent the last how many years boosting your popularity, boosting your streams, boosting everything. And you're mad that Kendrick, are you going to say bots watched the pop-out show? Did bots make the pop-out show go viral? Here's the thing. With all Drake's albums, I know they get a lot of play on social media and this and that. But when you talk about what's popping, I know that everybody from little kids on down was bumping They Not Like Us. Drake, stop it. And you didn't step on Kendrick's album release. You just made me want to stream that bad boy more. Kendrick got a new album out, if you don't know, and it's even better than we expected. Go stream Kendrick's album. Let's get into Drake's papers, okay? Listen. Exactly. You know what it is. Who said Drake left they said Drake left yeah, listen, he's suing in a rap beef and he's saying it's a Rico. He couldn't have lost just because he was corny and he was weird and for all my dogs and all this other stuff. And that his 10 album, his 10 songs he put out after that didn't do anything. I will say people did say that people were trying to ruin Drake because he spoke out about what was happening in the Middle East. I don't believe that for 1 minute. I feel like what was going on, there was some humiliation ritual going on. I hope that's what it was, because why else would a grown man be blinking the blink, like looking like a lip elephant? Why would a grown man be doing that on camera, release it, and then show up on Aiden Ross and all these streams bragging about it? Why? Yo, Drake, this is not very Scorpio of you at all. Listen, exactly. He need to be worried about that bald spot, and we all know the glue. Or he had his own hair braided, and they sewed the thread into the cornrows too tight. Again, y'all were dragging me when I said, and I think the girl that does Drake's hair hates him secretly. But clearly, if you're going to a hairdresser, and I know you paying money, and you got bald spots, they don't like you. On top of that, right? When did he first get those lace fronts? Rihanna had started dating A$AP Rocky, and I think like they were in like Barbados or something, and Drake showed up. He just had the certified lover boy with the heart, and then he showed up with like thick straight backs, literally 3 business days later. It's all in my video. I did a deep investigation. I even found the type of man unit he wears, and it's the same patterns and everything. And even when people are like, what are you talking about? Drake's posted pictures of with hairdressers. And I'm like, okay, guys, sit down. Let me tell you what a woman knows. People will go out of their way to act like the hair is there. They will post strategically. I saw that. I said, nope, 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 Drake. Anyway, let's get to this thing, right? Let's get into this. Listen. Exactly. Someone said, Justine said, when you mix like me, you can't go that tight. Listen. Yes, FKA Tucson said, yeah, girl, I clocked that scalp. Girl, that scalp was waving in the wind. Any woman that's had a bad experience with braids, weaves, whatever, was like, okay, let's get into this. All right. Let's get to this dumb lawsuit. Drake is a clown. Drake is a clown. I will say, again, he's trying to get out of that slave deal. Also, let's also not forget that TMZ has a article about it. They said, so UMG's been paying Drake dust. So he decided to take this to the street. He acts like I'm the Cassie of the record industry. No, Drake, you're the Diddy of the industry. And let me tell you something else. You better hit the notification number or bell or subscribe. Let me tell y'all something. One thing I know, and 2 things, 1 thing for certain and 2 things for sure. We're going to hear a lot more about his Millie Bobby Brown parties. We're going to hear a lot more of his extracurricular activities. We're going to hear a lot more about that for all the dogs. When Kendrick said the embassy about to be raided, he might just be telling the truth. You saw what happened with Diddy. Drake, please. Your music ain't even been pumping like that. Diddy was at least hosting freak-offs for people to enjoy. Drake seems to think that there's some shadiness behind Kendrick Lamar's monster hit, They Not Like Us. So he's filed a lawsuit to investigate how it got so big. The fact that he doesn't even have any proof, he just feels it in his heart that there's no way that we liked it that much. He filed the lawsuit because he wants to investigate how it got so big. They said Not Like Us is a song that effectively ended the Kendrick and Drake beef because its popularity buried Drake. But now he's alleging Universal Music Group used bots in a Peola scheme to pump up the song. The Peola scheme, pay for play, that's the RICO part. Peola is illegal in all RICO acts. According to the docs, Drake says an inside source told him UMG made covert payments to multiple platforms, including radio stations, to play and promote the hell out of Not Like Us. Legally, that's known as Peola and is prohibited by the FCC. Now, I wonder if there's any, because if that's the case, couldn't every artist sue UMG and wouldn't that bankrupt UMG? Now, here's the thing. UMG is an evil empire. So I'm kind of like, oh, I don't know who I'm rooting for. On one hand, I think Drake is a corny culture vulture that literally hates and fetishizes Black women while he takes our culture of lace fronts and cornrows and like like, you know what I'm saying? And the BBLs. You hate us because you ate us. You want the weave, you want the BBLs, and I know all races do BBLs, but just hear me out. Not the BBLs, but you want the courageous booty. You want to be shaped like a Black woman with the thin waist and the little bubble butt. You want like the cute little the cute little Black American nose. You want the Black American jawline, because one thing we all got is jawlines, right? You want all that stuff. You want to be a Black woman so bad, but you fetishize us. So on one hand, I'm like, oh, Drake is garbage. Plus, he's like corny, right? I saw through that Loverboy stuff. I'm like, you're just an incel that like get off on having a burn book. Poor J-Lo. This is the last man she was flirting with too. Of course, she picked Drake. But then UMG really is, in my opinion, the evil empire. You look at everything that all these artists are doing, all this stuff. Who's funding it? Who's financing it? These strip club things, you can't think they're throwing their own money around. They call that album promotion, right? So then, like, they get paid for album promotion because they promote it at the strip club. So instead of playing 150,000 on billboards, you throwing it on the floor, right? UMG has bought us Sexy Red, and don't get me wrong, Sexy Red got some jams, but like, it's gotten too much. When she came out with that STD inspired lip gloss, it got too much. You gave it Tekashi 6ix9ine, Ice Spice, love Ice Spice. Now what's her whole tour? Her standing there turning around like a Simpson episode, lazy twerking while a 50-foot booty is twerking in 3G. Like they literally, where's Cardi's album? Where's Cardi's album? What did she do? Push it back again? Y'all feel me on where I'm going with this UMG stuff. They are the ops, and I feel like they've been involved or financed a lot of dark things to happen. So I don't care if UMG falls, but why are you bringing Kendrick Lamar into this? Drake, you lost fair and square, and this makes you feel like an even bigger loser. I know we're saying we're getting into this court documents, we are, but this is a TMZ. In the docs, he claims a whistleblower has accused UMG management of spending thousands in May 2024 on bots. You just said spending thousands, not hundreds of thousands, because here's the thing. UMG could have a policy that every artist that they put out, they give them like 100,000 views off the thing. That doesn't mean that, you know what I'm saying? So maybe it is a policy. Also, y'all know with whistleblower lawsuits in America, well, whistleblower, you get, I think, like you get a bunch of money from being a whistleblower. It's the whole thing about like, you know, the law favors the brave. So if you are a whistleblower, there's a heavy financial payout for that too. Drake might be looking at that because we know he don't got any money. Well, I know he has money, but that money ain't coming in. You see, he had to take, you know how you know that money ain't coming in? He had to give up his hairdresser, right? I'm blaming the hairdresser for putting a bald spot in his hair. Maybe this don't got nothing to do with the hairdresser. Maybe he had to cut his hairdresser budget off. And he was like, I've seen her do a lace front plenty of times. I can do it myself. And he had Chubbs like braid his hair down. And then like, you know, he had whatchamacallit, like the redhead, like sewing it down. And maybe he sewed it down himself, right? He sewed it down himself. And then he had the fallout. That could have been it too. You know, every time, you know, he could have tried to do his own hair. That could be it too. All right, Drake. Let's stop blaming the hairdresser. Drake might have tried to do his own install and mess it up. She went like, there's a reason people are hairdressers. They go to cosmetology school, Drake. You need to respect that. Anyway, right? In the docs, he claims a whistleblower, blah, 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 blah. And they're saying that in order to get the song to 30 million streams on Spotify, and it also paid social media influencers to promote the song, he alleged his label dropped all copyright restrictions. So influencers could repeatedly post the song, helping it spread like wildfire. Drake, they tried to do that for your song too, and you started hitting copyright because you were mad that people were clowning your song. Also, what about academics? What about fluffademics? We got to talk. What about the Muffin Man? Right? Do you know the Muffin Man? The Muffin Man. What about Muffin? What about Fluffy Dimmicks? You can't tell me If he's not on payroll, he is getting kickback. He was your PR person. Academics was literally crying over Drake. Tomorrow, yo, I respect him so much. As if somebody had eaten his cheesesteak that he had put aside that he was going to eat when he got done streaming. What about the Muffin Man? What about Fluffy Demics? You can't be serious. You can't be serious. The fact that Drake is... What about Aiden Ross? The fact that Drake is now trying to say... What about Kai Cenat? When he heard Drake's album and he tried to recreate what happened with Kendrick when he stood up and the chair got knocked over, and Drake was saying, yeah, I love peanut butter, Fetty, Vecino, real love, you know, Drake being corny. And Kai Cenat was like, oh man, you know, doing the Kai Cenat stuff. Like, Drake, shut up. Like, you are exposing that your whole career is a fake, just like that alleged, suspected man unit that you were forced to take off. You know what? I want to file a petition in federal court. I want to zoom in and see exactly what happened because I feel lied to. I want to zoom in on those follicles, and we're going to have a Nancy Drew What Do episode. How about that, Drake? We're going to file a petition to see about whether you wear a lace front or not. They said he has some huge legal goals here. He says he's filing this suit just to get a full understanding of how UMG funneled payments to iHeartRadio and its network stations. One thing has an envelope according to Zox, he's gearing up to file a civil fraud and racketeering case against UMG and any co-conspirators. Remember, Not Like Us famously includes the lyric where Kendrick calls Drake a certified pedophile, and Drake says he's already has grounds to sue UMG for defamation, among other things. Yo, this is the whitey, if you black, I got nothing for you. If you white, there's everything. A whitey. Drake, you are suing for defamation in a rap beef. You are suing for defamation in a rap beef when you said Kendrick beat his wife and that his son was the illegitimate love child of your best friend and his wife, the one that you're hitting on. You're suing. You're suing for defamation after everything you said about Kendrick and his family and his children. You're suing for defamation. Yo, you know what? Why do I feel like if this case goes to court, Kendrick's gonna show up with his glasses? You know, Kendrick got like 3 looks. He got the first shape up when he's on his, like, you know, Mr. Lover Man shop, when he's on his Mr. Lover Man thing, looking like him and Whitney about to go on date night when he got that shaped up, fresh and nice. Like, he about to pick Whitney up for date night. Then he got his Kung Fu Kenny look, right? Then he got his, you know, his little black hippie look. But Kendrick also has the Pulitzer Prize look. And I want to see Kendrick show up in court, and Kendrick is so smart, represent himself in a court of law with his with his Prada suit and his glasses outside the courtroom doing Drake's little thing. I want to see Kendrick represent himself in court, and low-key, I think he will probably kill it as a lawyer with the arguments and his attention to detail. Somebody that literally times his exact crispiness to sogginess ratio with Fruity Pebbles. Yeah, no. You was always going to lose against a man with that much detail. You were always going to lose against a man with that much detail. They said it's also worth noting UMG also distributes Drake's music, but it's clearly not stopping him from going to war again. You went to war again, and once again, you will lose. Once again, you will lose. Anyway, let's get back into these arguments. This is just ridiculous. Really quickly, listen. Again, when Kanye said, "Where's Lucien? Serve your master, ninja. You caught a little bag for your masters, didn't you? Lifetime deal. I feel bad for ninjas." Okay. At the end of the day, let's also not forget that Lucien. Oh, you know what's going to be interesting to see? Really quick before I know I keep saying we get into the court documents, but let me just cook because it's funny. What's Fluffy going to do? What's Fluffy going to do? See, Drake, you about to see if somebody's really your ride or die, or she was just with you for the clicks and views. Because at the end of the day, Fluffy Demics was at one time Drake's head glazer. Now that Drake is suing UMG, what's he gonna do? You still gonna ride out with Drake, or you gonna go where the money is, UMG? Which one you gonna do? Drake's career is washed. Academics glazing for him. What do you think? This is gonna be interesting. Drake really did set up a hold on, guys. Drake really did set up a civil war. Unfortunately, that civil war is going to be his destruction, baby. Drake set up a civil war. I want to see what academics is actually going to do. You think he's going to start being honest about Drake and his music and the way he feels, or you think he's going to keep glazing for Drake? I think academics is a mercenary. That man will do anything for $1 and 2 cheesesteaks. $1 and 2 cheesesteaks. And and for those of y'all, because I know you haters in there, y'all hate me, but you can't stop watching. Not y'all, but the people in the back. I heard academics saying he was going to sue me. Okay. And your lawyer checking my finances out. Anyway, academics will do anything for a cheesesteak, an extra bag of chips, and a kiwi strawberry Snapple, and some money. I think that the academics is going to side with UMG. If he doesn't and he sides with Drake, I will be very, very, very surprised. Some people think that this is a stunt for Drake and UMG to get the attention off of Kendrick's album. It's not working. Kendrick has a Super Bowl. The album is banging, and Drake's been banished to Australia for the first performance. Australia, he's not even allowed to be in the country. Anyway, hold on, y'all. Lovely, Love is Back 24 on Twitter said, this ninja Drake called the cops on Kendrick for getting his ass whooped. Rick Ross was right. Aubrey is a white boy. I'm going to say this. Don't disrespect the white boys. Aubrey is, don't, because no, this one got nothing to do with him being white, black, nothing. Aubrey is just, like, no, you can't. I know the white boys are like, don't put this on us. Don't put this on us. They got, like, remember Post Malone? Everybody's saying Drake's going pop like the way Post Malone. No, Post Malone, in my opinion, never really, like, not a culture. Yeah, he was like a culture vulture with rap. And then as soon as he could, he got into his true love, which is R&B and not rock and country. Okay, cool. He used it as a stepping stone. Drake is different. You were Mr. Rap. Like, where are you going? Anyway, right? FCK Yaya said, the fact that Drake's lawsuit is not a full lawsuit, but a pre-action petition tells me this is to distract from GNX. They are mad because discounts were given and Kendrick removed copyright claims, which Drake's fans claimed he did too. Drake tried to remove copyright claims, but when people started clowning his thing, that's when he started striking up. Drake was sending out cease and desist orders to TikTokers and creators for even playing his music or commenting about it. La Cienega Boulevards on Twitter said, Drake calling the cops on Kendrick is killing me. It's killing me too. Let's get into what he said. Okay, so anyway, petitioner Frozen Moments LLC, even Drake's names for his LLC, Drake owns this, Frozen Moments. Even his names of his LLCs are soft. By and through its undersigned attorneys, respectfully petition the court pursuant to New York civil practice law for an order granting limited pre-action disclosure from respondent UMG recordings. Again, Drake might be successful at this. He knows where the bodies are buried. I don't think that they did this with Kendrick. I think they did this a lot with Drake. And I think that if it is Peola or Rico, I think his music career is rushed. So he's trying to get some money from UMG. I think UMG is going to bury him and destroy him. In his memo to staff reflecting the highlights of 2021, CEO to UMG Lucien Grange remarked on it being harder than ever for artists to break through the noise. 60,000 songs are added to Spotify every week. Spotify is the world's most popular audio streaming subscription service as of the end of the third quarter of 2024, and boasted more than 640 million monthly active users and 252 million subbies. Spotify pays music companies like UMG for the right to license songs so it can play them on its streaming and subscription platforms. In 2003 alone, Spotify paid more than $9 billion in royalties to music labels and producers. Hip hop is one of the most popular genres on Spotify, amounting to nearly a quarter of all streams of Spotify globally in 2023. Now, Spotify and UMG have a long-standing symbiotic business relationship. Yes, you mean the person that makes music and the person people go to listen to music? Yes, it is symbiotic. As one of Spotify's earliest supporters, UMG entered into a multi-year global license agreement with Spotify in 2020. UMG and Spotify collaborate on strategic marketing campaigns and products, and in 2024 announced an expansion of their strategic partnership through with Spotify would amplify music discovery and social interaction and enhance the fan experiences across the platform for UMG's family of artists and songwriters. Based on UMG's financial reporting, Spotify paid UMG around $2.28 billion in 2023, which amounts to 19% of UMG's total revenue. Now, let me say this. All these figures are true, and UMG needs their ass kicked because how much of that money actually went to the artists? But it makes me think also, remember Nicki Minaj said that Spotify tried to take her out? Remember she said Cardi's numbers were overinflated? I don't think they were overinflated, but my point of saying all this is artists have been complaining about this mess for a while. Interesting enough, Drake has no friends. He didn't get any other artists to join in home. So even if we try to make him like an icon, right? Trying to free the music slaves, the only slave he's trying to free is himself. I guess when he was saying, Kendrick, you rap like you trying to free the slaves. That idiot. Streaming is essential to UMG's current bottom line and its future business strategy. In a report related to the third quarter of 2024, UMG noted a nearly 29% year-over-year decrease in downloads and other digital revenue because of the continued format shift towards streaming. UMG's long-term strategy relies on accelerating the growth of and monetizing from streaming and subscriptions. In October 2024, UMG unveiled a new slogan, Streaming 2.0, which illustrates the importance UMG places on saturating the streaming market. Now, in 2024, right? In 2024, UMG did not rely on chance or even ordinary business practices to break through the noise on Spotify and likely other music platforms. It instead launched a campaign to manipulate and saturate the streaming services and airways with a song, Not Like Us, in order to make that song go viral, including by using bots and pay-to-play agreements. Again, Drake is telling us how his whole career was made. Let's also not forget that when Drake was first starting, he was bragging in interviews, and a lot of people were like, yo, this kid's Jewish. He's Jewish. Michael Rubin, Aiden Ross, like even the music executives. There were whole podcasts devoted to Drake being like, yo, like the music execs told me, like, yo, this kid's Jewish. Yo, do you know how big you're gonna be? Because I mean, I can't fault that. If there was somebody half black trying to make it in blogospheres, it's like I wouldn't suppress anybody else, but I'd be like, yeah, come on, I'll show you the ropes. Like, I can understand them repping their set, but Drake bragged about this. Okay. So it would go to say that they wanted maybe the biggest rap star in music to also be Jewish. I'm just saying. In 2024, UMG released Not Like Us in May. Pursuant to various contractual rights, UMG has exclusive control over the licensing of the song. On information and belief, UMG charged Spotify licensing rates 30% lower than its usual licensing rates for Not Like Us in exchange for Spotify affirmatively recommending the song to users who are searching for other unrelated songs and artists. Now, here's the thing. Neither UMG nor Spotify disclosed that Spotify had received compensation for any kind of exchange for recommending the song. Upon information belief, Spotify paid UMG licensing fees through the wires and through the mail. Again, they're trying to get this Rico. Now, here's the thing. Drake has absolutely no proof of this. He says that this was a whistleblower that told him. Is this the same whistleblower that told you that Whitney was in an abusive relationship with Kendrick? Is this the same person that told you, right? Shake that ass for that. Now shake that ass for me. And be free. I mean, and now I mean free. I mean my Ninja Dave. Like, is this the same person that told you that Kendrick Lamar's wife had an illegitimate love child with his best friend who's still managing him, and Kendrick is raising the child as his own? Is this the same source? Because I'm just saying, Drake does not have a great history with reliable sources, right? He doesn't. So my point of the matter is, and second of all, maybe the whistleblower told him, but I also think that Drake is giving his own knowledge that he's learned from his own album releases on what they do. Because you're saying it's upon information and belief. You're saying you have no proof of this and you want them to preserve evidence because you think if you look, you'll find proof of this. But how do you know where all the bodies are buried? Because you were digging a ditch at one time. Okay. And you thought with Not Like Us, you thought that you had dug a ditch for Kendrick with UMG, but UMG, Not Like Us was a breakout hit. It had nothing to do with UMG. I'm telling you, I've not seen a song played. I was international and they was bumping Not Like This. Like every single continent. But what's more, it was a banger. But what's more, we also have to see, is it UMG's policy that when they have a hit song, that they discount it so it can amplify it? Because let's not forget that UMG is in the market of making money. So it makes sense that any hit songs they see, they will market to amplify. They say UMG directly and through Interscope also conspired with and paid currently unknown parties to use bots to artificially inflate the spread of Not Like Us and deceive consumers into believing the song was more popular than it was in reality. We saw Drake's bots on Twitter in action. Bots are software programs designed to mimic human behavior to appear to be real on social media accounts. I know, I've been in the Kardashians' comments. One individual unknown to petitioner revealed publicly on a popular podcast that Kendrick Lamar Duckworth label paid him via third parties to use bots to achieve 30 million streams on Spotify in the first day of release of Not Like Us, with a goal of jumpstarting the song's spread and turning it into a crazy hit on the platform. Okay, first of all, that person that was on that podcast was exposed to be a liar. They said that Kendrick paid him like $5,000 for 30 million views. If you can pay somebody 5,000 for 30 million views, every unknown artist in the world would have 30 million views. Drake is so stupid. So basically, these sources and the whistleblowers are the same ones that told him about Dave Free and Whitney. Anyway, the whistleblower describes Spotify as the easiest platform to bot because it does not, like other streaming platforms, have certain security measures when it comes to bot protection. The whistleblower further revealed, so on May 6, 2024, an individual affiliated with Interscope sent him a payment of, here we go, it wasn't even 5,000. 2,500 via the digital payment platform Zelle, which is owned by a number of banks, and he has promised another 25,000 and a percentage of the song's total sales for this initial push. Oh, Drake. Upon information and belief, whenever somebody puts in information and belief, that means they don't know, they don't have any proof. They're just saying that they think what they heard is true. Upon information and belief, UMG hired other unknown third parties to use bots to promote Not Like Us and also inflate the streams of Not Like Us. But here's the thing you don't realize, though. Why are you trying to say UMG wanted to get you out of there? Because UMG is in the business of making money. And if they gave everything away from free, didn't they give everything away also for free? Is because Kendrick actually owns his music too. And he could make it, well, whatever. UMG appears to have used similar tactics with other streaming services. On information and belief, UMG paid or approved payments to Apple to have its voice-activated digital assistant, Siri, purposely misdirect users to Not Like Us. Online sources reported that when users asked Siri to play the album Certified Lover Boy by recording artist Drake, it instead played Not Like Us, which contains the lyric Certified Pedophile. any allegations against Drake. Again, this was debunked over the internet too. Drake is a loser. You literally threw away what was remaining of your pathetic career to go against UMG. And hey, maybe UMG needs to be taken down over some internet rumors. Oh my God. Hold on, y'all. One second. One second. 5K for 30 million streams. How stupid does he think we are? Okay, anyway, this just goes to show also Drake lives his whole life on the internet. The fact that you literally posted conspiracy theories that were in the chat, I know because I was in there, the Twitter streams by your chief glazers and your fandom when they were just making up shit to justify. And you literally put it in a document. Drake lives online. He is a 6-year-old. I'm not 6-year-old, a 6th grader. He literally is. God. UMG engaged in similar pay-to-play schemes to increase the airplay of Not Like Us on the radio. Petitioners obtained information from a third party indicated that at least one UMG employee made payments to an independent radio promoter serving as an intermediary who had agreed to transfer those payments to certain radio stations and radio station employees. It better not be Tory Lane's quarantine radio. It'll be a trifecta of losers. The radio station subsequently played or caused to be played Not Like Us without disclosing they had been paid to do so. This practice, known as Peola, is prohibited by the Communications Act and has been a subject of regulatory scrutiny by a number of executive industries. In 2006, UMG agreed to pay $12 million in a settlement with the New York Attorney General following an investigation involving accusations that UMG and executives had used a broad array of pay-for-play tactics to secure radio airplay for music. Okay, so UMG is trash, but again, I don't think they did this with Not Like Us. And Drake, there's such a thing in the world as unclean hands. You are not allowed to come to the court with unclean hands. So if you're involved in it, and if you had knowledge of this scheme and you were down with it, you can't really sue unless you're coming as a whistleblower. Is Drake the whistleblower? You now want to, and this is what, listen, UMG made this monster. Because you lost, you want to destroy the whole record industry? I mean, good. Let's get some real talent in there. Like Kendrick said, it's time for the party to die. Anyway, right? Where are we at? Oh my God. In connection with UMG settlement, New York Attorney General Elliot Spitzer explained consumers have a right to be misled, have a right not to be misled by the way in which music they hear is selected. He continued to say that the pay for play makes a mockery of claims only the best or most popular music is broadcast. Separately, in 2005, UMG was sued by 2 radio promotion companies alleging fraudulent pay-to-play practices. Let me just say this because Drake's so stupid. He's Canadian. I remember what happened with Elliot Spitzer. And he actually was he was into some freaky deaky stuff. It was all consensual. But he was really actually cleaning up finance, and he was cleaning up the music industry. He was cleaning up a lot of big money areas. And they systematically went into his life, exposed he liked hookers, exposed he was cheating on his wife, exposed that he had used his company credit card, I guess, to what do you call it? Arrange a hooker or whatever, right? And they destroyed that man's life. And he literally wasn't on some Diddy stuff. He just liked to use call girls every now and then. Not that I want my man doing that, but you see what I'm saying? It wasn't any weirdo stuff. Well, I guess call girls is weird. But my point of the matter is they did that to Elliot Spitzer. He was the Attorney General of New York. He led a pretty vanilla life. Aside from that, Drake has Millie Bobby Brown. Drake has the parties at the embassy. Drake, you are an idiot. And this is how you tell Drake doesn't read, he just reads everything online. UMG was one of the people that took Elliot Spitzer out. UMG and a few other of like the hedge funds or private equity in Wall Street, they took Elliot Spritzer out because he was a problem. You think that you are going to get a leg up and do more to destroy the attorney general? Now, let me just say this. Drake is very, very popular in Dubai. He has come to Dubai, Habibi. He has been to Dubai. People think that some of the people in Dubai like having little playthings. And some people think that Drake video where he was like beating up that poor depressed elephant in his hands, just flappy whoppy, right? That was a calling card, much the way when you see influencers on their Instagram with sexy pics around yacht season, they are trying to get advertisements for out of this, that, and the third. While historically Peola has been thought, so my point of saying that is maybe he has like some heavy Saudi financial backing that wants to take UMG out, get Drake out of his contract, and then Drake can be on their record label in the Middle East. But the only thing is, why Drake's fallen off so much, rap is a Black art form. And you can be very good in rap. But in order to be taken seriously and to get the world to get behind you, you need to be embraced by the Black rap community. They said, while historically Peola has been thought of in terms of paying radio stations to play songs, in February 2020, the Federal Trade Commission released guidance stating that by paying an influencer to pretend that their endorsement or review is untainted by a financial relationship, this is illegal, Peola. Have you told academics that? Have you told half of the streamers that? Because honestly, you can't tell me that these are okay. I guess Drake taking everybody down. Upon information and belief, well, this app even really review music? Maybe that's not him. But have you told all the other streamers that app doesn't really review music? I don't think so. We'll take his name off the list. But have you told any of the other streamers that? On information and belief, UMG employed a similar scheme by paying social media influencers to promote and endorse a song and video. For example, Petitioner understands that UMG paid the popular NFR podcast, which is nearly 300,000 subscribers on YouTube and over 330,000 followers on X, to promote Not Like Us and its video without disclosing the payment. As part of its deal with UMG, the NFR podcast published podcast episodes, tweets, and other content publicly about the song. And in a sea change for Universal's internal policy, UMG removed the song's copyright restriction on YouTube and Twitch, thereby whistling the song for the first time in UMG history, which further incentivized influencers to spread the song. Well, they took copyright off of your mess for a moment and nobody spread. You know what? Let's get back into this. UMG's scheme to ensure Not Like Us broke through on Spotify and elsewhere, and it worked. Not Like Us broke Spotify records, and Interscope posted on its X account. Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us becomes the fastest rap song to reach 300 million Spotify streams. To date, Not Like Us it's almost 900 million streams on Spotify and holds the record of the biggest single day streams of hip hop songs and the most streamed diss track in Spotify history. Not Like Us has spent 27 weeks on Spotify's city chart for New York City. Okay, who cares? Hater. Within a week of its initial release, Not Like Us broke the record for most streamed song in a 7-day period with 96 million streams. Drake, are you really doing all this to go to court and for a court of law to tell you what we all know? It was a breakout hit, and everybody loved the way he dethroned. You actually set it up for Kendrick to knock it out the park. Anyway, he goes on to say it was a number one 40 million times, July 4th to August 8th. The video ranked first on YouTube's weekly top music video charts. I know I played it a lot. On November 13th, iHeartRadio leaderboard reported that Not Like Us was the second most popular song on the platform. On New York radio, Not Like Us remains, as the date of this filing, a top 40 hit on popular music and hip hop stations, including, wow, Drake, read the room. UMG touted the record-breaking success on July 16th. Interscope reposted that the song had become the fastest-selling rap song in 2024. They tweeted a bunch of replays, summer hits playlists, Spotify, go-to. They said UMG's schemes to artificially inflate the popularity of Not Like Us were motivated, at least part, by the desire of, here we go, by the desire of executives at Interscope to maximize their own profits, UMG executives have an annual incentive program pursuant to which they are rewarded for meeting and surpassing sales and profit projections, among other metrics. The incentives are largely based on the specific UMG division rather than the performance of UMG more generally. For example, the annual incentive or bonus of Interscope CEO John Janik is based 90% on the financial success of Interscope and only 10% on the financial success of UMG generally. Thus, on information and belief, Mr. Janik and other executives at Interscope have been incentivized to maximize the financial success of Interscope through the promotion of Not Like Us and its revitalized impact on the artist's prior recording catalog, including his first 5 studio albums, which are owned by Interscope. Okay, but the fatal flaw in all this is, okay, let's just play devil's advocate. Okay, sure, that's what happened. You're also a UMG artist and you're their biggest selling act. They actually have more of an incentive to push your stuff than Kendrick's. Kendrick's splits are bigger than yours. His splits are better than yours. They actually are. Drake has 1 million splits. UMG actually makes more off of Drake winning than they ever will off of Kendrick winning. Also, if UMG gave all this out for free and they paid all this money, then how, if you did all this, right? How in the world are they making this profit? On top of that, you're accounting for the fact that this might be industry practice. Maybe they all give a little push. I don't know. The point of the matter is, with this, you're also discounting the fact that it was a breakout hit. Because here's the thing. UMG did all this to your last 3 albums and you can't get the success. UMG did this to Cardi's last thing, Bongos. It was a jam, but it didn't get that type of success. Just like, are you saying WAP wasn't as successful as it's supposed to be? My whole point of the matter in saying this is, just because somebody has a push, and I don't think Kendrick had that push, that still doesn't make a breakout song. And that's what he's forgetting. Because all they have to do is say, well, this is our industry practice. Okay, fine, we'll take the fine. But we've done that to other artists, namely this one who has unclean hands, and you need to throw the lawsuit out. And it didn't get any traction. So you can't say we're responsible for this breakout success. We might have wanted it, we might have seen it, but we can't make things grow. Hence, his last 3 albums. Your Honor, have you listened to Certified Lover Boy? Anyway, right? He also received information that UMG has been taking steps in an apparent effort to conceal its scheme, including but not limited to by terminating employees associated with or perceived to have loyalty to Drake. Is this Chubbs? Did Chubbs get fired? Indeed, UMG has demonstrated that it has no interest in taking responsibility for its misconduct. Wow. So you mean one of Drake's Glazers actually worked for UMG, tried to defend Drake like a weirdo? No, because they really at the embassy with their boring ass happy Canada Independence Day stuff, with a family holiday with no kids, a bunch of Canadian losers, deadbeats, questionable dads. Y'all, okay, this is all my opinion, okay? They might be great fathers, but to me, they appeared to be deadbeat losers, right? Tristan was there, Thompson, that's all we need to know. So this person worked for UMG, accused them of doing this, put their job on the line, and now they're who's telling you, but you have no proof to this? Indeed, UMG has demonstrated no interest in taking responsibility for its misconduct. Over the past several months, Drake has repeatedly sought to engage UMG in discussions to resolve the ongoing harm he's suffered as a result of UMG's actions. So you've been whining the UMG in the back, trying to call the manager on Kendrick, and they were like, go away, ma'am. This is a Wendy's drive-thru. Wow. UMG refused to engage in negotiations. I hope they left you out your room, and insisted that UMG is not responsible for its own action. Instead, UMG has pointed the finger at Mr. Duckworth, insisting that Drake should initiate legal action against Kendrick's last name is Duckworth? Kendrick is a cartoon villain. His name is Kendrick Lamar Duckworth. He's a cartoon villain against Kendrick rather than UMG, and even threatened to bring its own legal claims against Kendrick if Drake were to pursue claims against UMG. Who's Mr. Duckworth? I'm confused. Is Duckworth Kendrick? Hold on, y'all. I got to go back into this. What's Kendrick's Lamar's last name? I thought his last name was Lamar. Let me know in the comments. Who's Duckworth? Is that Kendrick or not? Who is it? Is it his name? Kendrick is a cartoon villain. He is, listen, Drake, you are lost. Kendrick Lamar is just likable from his name. Kendrick Lamar Duckworth, Mr. Duckworth. All I have to read is like, who is Mr. Duckworth? And I would be like at the DMV, Mr. Duckworth, and I'd be like, who is this fool? He sounds like the evil villain that ends up killing everybody in the end. Mr. Duckworth, but it's still lovable to all the kids in the neighborhood. Dory Angel said, Tisa, from now on, I'm calling him Karen. Exactly, Dory. Karen strikes again. Okay, so Duckworth is his last name. Okay. Okay, guys, let me get back into this. I'm like, who is Mr. Duckworth? Okay, let me get back into this. Sorry. I have to go fact check. Who the hell is Mr. Duckworth? Okay, it's Kendrick. So Mr. Duckworth, Kendrick Lamar, he's not a real person. This sounds like you're never going to, you cannot win against somebody this interesting, this amusing, this talented, this smart. Come on. Come on. Please. He is Moriarty in Sherlock Holmes. If y'all ever read Sherlock Holmes, y'all know who I'm talking about. He is Moriarty without the malicious bloodlust, but he is Moriarty. Well, he had bloodlust on Drake's career. Anyway, right? Let's get back into this. So Drake's whining. Where were we? Drake is whining. He's not exposing everything that UMG did for his career, but he's swearing they did it for Kendrick. You know, it'd be the real gag if we find out, which I strongly suspect, they didn't do any of this shit for Kendrick, and Drake just exposed himself, and Universal is going to expose what happened with him and Millie Bobby Brown, right? Hold on a second. There's more coming in. Hold on. Again. Listen. Get this. The part where Drake said that he fired his friends and spoke up for him. He really tried to use massive layoffs that's happening at every record agency as a conspiracy theory against them. Okay. Now, Tyron on Twitter said Drake got on a power trip thinking he can ice out UMG and plan to avoid DSPs. Stop them from eating off of him. Problem is, he was popping shots at Kendrick for a while. And once Kendrick knew the boy was in a vulnerable position, they're thinking that Kendrick planned for attack, forcing him to come out to play. Drake and Lucien, the head of UMG's relationship, has been strained for a while because Drake took a slave deal and wanted to negotiate after realizing he's worth way more. Lucien told that boy to F off. Ever since then, the boy has been throwing shots in his records and even tried to only drop on IG. Remember when Drake dropped and then they shut it down, right? Listen, here's the funny thing. If Kendrick and the other rappers honestly timed their takedown because they knew Drake was at his most weakest and vulnerable, I think this makes it even funnier. What you talking about, right? Also, in charge of the girl said, if I was going to sue, it would be over the pedophile comments. That part, because this is really the same move Drake pulled when Kendrick called him every name in the book. And all Drake said was, what daughter? Again, I find it odd that Drake is suing them for a rap beef, but he's staying away from that PDF comments. Guess there's too much point. There's too much proof on that yacht, right? Kendrick, they need a whistleblower. He got literal proof. Again, the whistleblower. Listen. I think Drake did this as a publicity stunt. And I think that he planned to drop whenever Kendrick dropped this album. I just think that it turned out the other way. You look like such a loser. I don't want to listen to your stuff. I want to go and listen to Kendrick's album. Right? Last thing. Listen. Also, Drake saying that the payment he received was Kendrick releasing copyright. How's that payment? Anyway, We'll skip back into this because this is funny. Okay, so Drake's been trying to get Lucien to talk to him. Lucien told him to F off. They told him to go sue Mr. Duckworth. I love Kendrick's last name, Duckworth. Streaming and licensing is a zero-sum game. Every time a song breaks through, it means another artist does not. UMG's choice to saturate the music market with Not Like Us comes at the expense of other artists like Drake. As Drake is petitioner's sole owner, the petitioner owns the copyright to Drake's entire catalog. Petitioner suffered economic harm as a result of UMG's scheme. Now, the funny thing is, if they can prove that Drake colluded with UMG for his other albums, well, then a bunch of artists can sue you, Drake. Do you understand the wormhole you just opened? All to embarrass Kendrick. Y'all, listen. They want pre-action discovery and preservation, frozen moments, the corniest name, frozen moments. Even Drake's businesses, fragile ops names. Frozen Moments has commenced this special proceeding pursuant to CPLR to seek pre-action discovery to allow petitioners to identify appropriate defendants and frame a complaint for a claim under the Racketeering Influence Corrupt Organization Act. Where's Nicki and Lil Wayne? Are they going to join them? Is Young Money going to join them? This will be a time for independent artists to join Drake. Is that what he's doing? Is anybody joining him, or is he just out for himself? I'm very curious to know. Civil Rico. He has a viable cause of action for Civil Rico, where predicate acts of wire fraud, mail fraud, and or bribery for UMG's payments to unknown third parties in the form of reduced licensing fees to Spotify. I do want to say this though, real talk. If UMG even paid $20 for this Kendrick mess, they are going down. But Drake, the Attorney General of New York, tried to take these mugs down, and Elliot Spritzer has not been heard from since. Drake, you are an idiot to think that you can go this hard, especially when you benefited from these practices all through the years. Petitioner requires additional information in order to frame his complaint and satisfy the heightened Rule 9b pleading standard applicable. So you don't even know you want to go on a fishing expedition. Specifically, petitioner requires information about the method by which the third parties were paid in order to determine which underlying predicate acts to plead, and requires information about which benefits were conferred upon UMG in exchange for the payments. Petitioner lacks sufficient information to identify the third parties who acted in conspiracy with UMG. Accepted business practices and false advertising. He has information that agents of UMG paid at least one third-party party to use bots to stream the song on Spotify. And on information and belief, this practice extended to multiple third parties to artificially stream the song and video. UMG also gave financial benefits to Spotify and other unknown third parties to promote and play the song and video without disclosing these payments. UMG then touted the success of the song and video, knowing the success was artificially inflated by its own manipulation. Again, if they took off copyright and they took off everything with streams, how were they making them MF of money? Kendrick didn't come out with an album for months after that. And what are you going to say about the video? What did UMG do for the Not Like Us video? And how come they couldn't do it for your career, Drake, at least the last 3 albums? These practices harm consumers. They also violate New York Deceptive Business Act and New York False Advertising Act. Without the requisite pre-litigation discovery, Drake lacks sufficient information to identify the known but anonymous third-party streamer and to identify any additional streamers whom UMG paid. Petitioner also lacks sufficient facts to frame the complaint regarding a streamer. Are they talking about, they can't be talking about academic. Are they talking about Kai Cenat? DGG? What streamer are they talking about? And not even that, the stream, anyway. Petitioner seeks the following limited pre-action disclosure, documents and communication. So you're going to fishing. They want documents and communication to show the identities of all third parties that UMG, its agents, or anyone working on behalf of UMG Interscope paid without public disclosure to promote, publish, or recommend the song, its accompanying cover image, video, including limited to radio stations, influencer, music platforms, music publications, as well as dates, methods, and amounts of those payments. You know, if I was UMG, just to be petty, do you know what I would do? I would pay other influencers. I'm not influencers. I would pay other artists to sue Drake. I would pay for the legal. I would pay for other artists to sue Drake. Because it's like, if I got to pay 400 million, you paying 400 million too. I would pay other artists to sue Drake. That's exactly what I would do. Because, and also just to be smart, I would literally put this in like ChatGPT and say, yeah, exchange Mr. Duckworth's name, right? For Mr. Graham's, Drake's name. And that's it. I would literally take the same complaint, copy and paste, and be like, yeah, we all going down, Drake. But anyway, at the end of the day, if UMG was doing this, not with Kendrick, but I know they were probably doing this with other artists, UMG deserves to go down. You look at what they did to Little Rod. UMG seems to be a bully. But the enemy of my enemy is not my friend, because we rock with Mr. Duckworth over here, right? And I didn't get my stimulus payment from Kendrick. Is there a stimulus plan? UMG, well, I guess I didn't do the live stream. Petitioners, I think it's because I'm a woman. You only pay male streamers. And I'm just joking. I don't think Kendrick or UMG had to pay for Not Like Us to get moving. Petition, and also, didn't they say, wasn't there a meeting that happened between Kendrick, his management, UMG, and Drake and stuff, where they said to stop the beef? Damn, they should have let Kendrick go in on him. He seeks the following limited pre-action disclosure from Spotify: documents and communications, any payments, reduced licensing fees, or anyone working on his behalf in exchange for the promotion, publication, and recommendation. Has further commenced a special proceeding pursuant to Civil Procedure Legal Rules 3102C to seek an order requiring UMG, including Interscope and all of the divisions, as well as UMG's directors, officers, and relevant employees, to preserve all documents and communications regarding the song, image, and video during the pendency of any litigation a petitioner commences against respondent, and or any unknown third parties for the underlying cause. What about TaylorMade? Because Snoop gave his AI permission, but he was part owner of what UMG was rolling out. And you worked with TaylorMade to roll out UMG's plan to use AI to make music with artists without artists being involved. Anyway, he's further commenced a special proceeding, blah, 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 blah. Petitioner expects that much of the relevant evidence will be in the form of messages on social media platforms, payment applications, and text messages, including but not limited to iMessage and WhatsApp, which may be preserved in the usual course. Petitioner is aware that senior executives at UMG regularly communicate for business through messaging platforms and applications. Exhibit A verified petition and proposed subpoena. Deuces tecum to UMG, commanding UMG to produce UMG requested information. So to deuces tecum means you must show. It's a subpoena. Duh. A verified petition to the proposed subpoena, deuces tecum, to Spotify, commanding Spotify to produce Spotify requested information. And on top of that, a proposed order authorizing pursuant to CP Civil Procedure Legal Rules 3102C, the issuance of subpoenas, deuces tecum, in the form of subpoenas attached as okay. Anyway, listen, what do they want? They're trying to force them to compel discovery. Who's the lawyer on this? Michael J. Gottlieb, Meryl C. Govorinsky, Wilkie Farr, and Gallagher. Oh, they got Wilkie Farr and Gallagher on this case? Okay, so he's paying money for this, no doubt. And he has one of the best legal. Meek Mills and all of them were saying there's a lot of black on black hate. It looks like Drake's other side. They going at it. It's the battle of the record execs, the labels, and everything. Oh my God, we got a turf war. Look at this. Look at this. Y'all saying that other race lift themselves up. What do they do? They have to have a turf war. They're like, warriors, mount up. Literally, they are about to have a turf war. Who do you think is going to win? Also, Denver Johnson said, industry pushback on a track that dropped by surprise. Drake will be a B forever. Forever, forever, forever. Listen, forever, 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 Denver. Forever and a day. Really quick also, listen. So listen, oh my God, breaking news. Denver, this is for you. UMG has responded. UMG just responded to Drake's lawsuit. Universal Music has responded to Drake's claim that it conspired to artificially inflate the streaming numbers of Kendrick Lamar's Drake diss, Not Like Us. The suggestion that UMG would do anything to undermine any of its artists is offensive and untrue. We employ the highest ethical practices in our marketing and promotional campaigns. No amount of contrived and absurd legal arguments and this pre-action submission can mask the fact that fans choose the music they want to hear. Yo! Yo, Drake is it. Listen, I have never seen anything more biblical. Drake has single-handedly ended his music career. Like Daylight said, Daylight tweeted, went from tell that boy to drop to tell that boy to stop to I'm telling the cops. Yo, listen, UMG shady response. First, they said fans choose the music they want to hear. Basically saying, Drake, ain't nobody want to hear your BS. But also, and this is the most damning thing, Drake, you literally single-handedly, who is advising him? Chubbs? Who's advising him? Who? Is it Chubbs? Your lieutenant? Your lieutenant needs to go back and read The Art of War. Drake just destroyed. Now, here's the thing I do want to say. I am happy that UNG is getting exposed. I think he's way off on putting Kendrick's name in it. But UMG has been reported to do shady practices when it came to Drake's albums. And the way this is one of the reasons why Drake was a culture vulture. Do you think that Drake doesn't think that he was literally a culture vulture? UMG had their people going out and identifying what sound from what area was going to be next. Just like they identified, oh, St. Louis is about to be popping. Sexy Red. He was supposed to Smino. He was supposed to take Smino's whole thing. Drake went to Atlanta and took people's steez. What they would do is UNG would have their people be like, oh, okay, what market is hot? Would tell Drake to go assimilate. He would make like features with all of them. Drake's album, and all these people were on different record labels, right? So you got record label A, B, C, D, and E. But if people off of UMG can't put them on because it's going to take too much in artist development to find artists that are also popping and this and that. So what do? They get all the best artists, some unsigned, some to other labels, do a feature with Drake, the Drake stimulus package. But the Drake stimulus package was just to destroy them. Why? Because you went on and did a feature. Drake colonizes your wholesale. UMG doesn't have to put any money into artist development. Drake does this little cosplay, whatever he's doing, Atlanta, St. Louis, California, whatever, London, Afrobeats, Caribbean, whatever he's doing, he does this cosplay. UMG gets all the streams and money. And then they look for, he's like the Borg in Star Trek. We are the Borg of Sister's funeral. He literally is the Fire Nation. Literally, but he's, what's his name in the Fire? Kuso, whatever, in the Fire Nation, where you don't even realize that it's Uncle Shiro running shit. Not to say that Lucian Grange is Uncle Shiro, right? But my whole point is, you are like, cool, God, what's his name? I forget. You know, Uncle Shiro's nephew that was out there causing ruckus in the Fire Nation, acting all stupid and foolhardy, and somehow thought you was doing shit. Meanwhile, Uncle Shiro and the Fire Nation was out running shit. You see what I'm saying? Like, they were the really ones calling the shots. My whole point of the matter is, watch Avatar, not the live action. You got to go to like the cartoon. But if you have anything important to do, don't watch it. Because when I say there's like 100 episodes, and each one you're going to be like putting everything on hold. It don't matter. You're going to be missing work to watch that. It's so good. My whole point is, did Drake really think that he was that popular and his whole goal wasn't to be like the Borg and just assimilate cultures, bring it so that UMG can dominate that sound without them having to develop any artists and stealing artists' looks, flows, everything, and who you couldn't steal from, you would have them get on the track. That was the whole thing. Drake, you are this lawsuit. The fact that Drake is so dense, dumb, and stupid that he doesn't even realize that you are reading yourself. You literally, all you had to do was just chill. All you had to do was just go away and chill for 8 months and then come back with a banger. But you couldn't, because like Kanye said, where's your where's Lucian? Serve your master, ninja. You couldn't do that. And because you're a sore loser, and because you literally all your life been told you're so good at stuff, oh my God, you don't realize that you were being propped up. So when UMG took away their support they've been giving you for years, your streams fell in the toilet and you were like, this can't be. You're helping Kendrick. No, dummy. They just stopped helping you. Literally. This is bothering me. Hold on. I gotta find out. What? Kuso? What in Avatar? What was Uncle Shiro's nephew's name? What was his name? Does anybody know? Yeah, right. Zuko. Okay, I don't know why I kept calling him Kuso. Drake is out there moving reckless like Zuko, thinking he's running shit. Meanwhile, Uncle Shiro, well, evil Uncle Shiro, Lucian Grange, is basically doing this. And when you think about it, he is Zuko. Because remember the way Zuko's dad felt about him? Yo, tell me that's not Drake's dad. I'm just saying. I am just saying. Yo, listen. Prince Zuko. Thank you, Maneuver. Yes, Prince Zuko. Yo, this is crazy. One of Drake's complaints is that employees at the label who were loyal to him for letting go. Yo, listen. Here's another thing I will say also. Do you think it was smart for Drake to admit that he had people in his pocket that worked at the label? Right? Because at the end of the day, this sounds like you were running a Rico. I'm telling you, UMG is going to rip Drake apart. Listen, he is going to they are going to rip Drake apart. You literally admitted that you have people in your pocket at the label doing your bidding. Also, in the label, there are NDAs, non-compete. Again, NDAs don't protect against illegal stuff. This is stupid. Drake, you are a dummy. This is not going to end well. And here's the thing. UMG, I'm sure, has covered their tracks if they were doing this. I don't think they were doing this with Kendrick, but y'all get my point. Listen, y'all get my point. This is a listen. Denver said Drake and Smart should not even be in the same sentence. Listen, at the end of the day, this is some nasty work. This is some nasty work. Anyway, listen, you guys, let me know what you think in the comments. I'm going to hit y'all up later, but when I tell y'all this is some nasty work, I will talk to y'all later. Bye. Wait, did I get all the super chat? Oh, one more. No. Denver Johnson said it would behoove UMG to allow Kendrick to destroy Drake and lower his commercial value, thereby justifying a recouping of assets on the contract. Yo, you better stop before UMG tries to get you on their payroll. This is the most embarrassing thing that Drake has ever done. And Drake said, it's not even embarrassing. At this point, this is stupid. Drake is a Division I crash out right now. He is mental. He has lost his will to do anything. And it makes me sad because, like, honestly, I mean, it doesn't make me sad. It makes me laugh. It makes me laugh because, like, honestly, it just shows how much Drake doesn't have anybody at all in his corner who truly cares about him. Chubbs, that redhead, all these people that say that they care about Drake and Drake, this to me shows more than anything that Drake don't got. More than anything, this shows that Drake has no real friends at all. This shows that Drake has no real friends. This man has no real friends. He has no friends at all. He has nobody that cares about him. He has nobody that sets him up. He has nobody that, like, says, oh my God, you've gone too far. He literally has nobody in his life. He literally has nobody in his life at all. And this is proof of it. Who would advise him to do this? Even these lawyers, everybody sees him as just like a prize pig. Everybody sees him as a prize pig, and he is the biggest dummy and the biggest loser ever. You can't tell me at all. You cannot tell me that this wasn't ill-advised. Hold on, there's one more thing I wanted to say with this mess. Like, again, so what are the key takeaways? Drake had people on the inside of UMG. Drake knew that UMG was pushing up his figures. Drake knows that UMG is running a scam because they ran the scam for Drake. And Drake has officially decided he's leaving music. He's not going to recover from this. UMG is going to blacklist him. Now, again, hear me out. If UMG is doing this with other artists, they need to be stopped. But Drake is going to be blacklisted. Drake has decided he's just going to live on his ranch. But how are you going to live on your ranch? Well, how are you going to get 16-year-olds to come to the creepy loser's house in the middle of Texas? How are you going to do that without saying it's an album release party or launch party? How are you going to romance a Millie Bobby Brown on a yacht off of St. Tropez? How are you going to do that? What is your point? Are you really thinking that you're going to go and go to Dubai and let them finance your record? Who listens to Dubai rappers? I'm not saying there's not good rappers in Dubai, but who the hell is listening to Dubai rappers? Who said the brown owl? Who is listening to Dubai rappers? Literally, not like that. They ain't lead anything. Do you honestly think that you're going to what? Yo, Drake is a Division I crash out. He is a Division I crash out, and so be it. Yo, I will say one thing. Was this bode well for all the other artists on UMG? The last hope they have, because rap has gone down by 26% over the years, is not as profitable. We can blame Drake for that. They let Drake come in and colonization, but it started looking corny and inauthentic, and it doesn't have the heart and soul. I think they look at Kendrick as a way to revitalize it because he's bringing something real back. At the end of the day, they love money more than anything, right? Think about it. But also, I think besides Kendrick, they're looking at Cardi B. And maybe that's why Cardi B is like feeling so much pressure, because they're looking at her to kind of save, because they're scaling back. Everybody's being fired. The record industry, weird things are happening. Diddy, this and that. And they're looking at Kendrick and Cardi B to kind of put UMG on their back and make it work. But I don't know if that's going to work. That's all I'm saying. I do not know if that's going to work. Anyway, right? Listen, this is who Drake is. He's a Division I crash out. And I say it once and say it again. Kendrick, what is the Braids? Can't even say that. Honestly, Drake, you can't be corny and evil. You just can't. And I think that's someone that is corny. I wear it as a badge of honor. Please. Corny makes the world go round. But I'm being serious. You can't be corny and be evil. You can't. You got to be lovable. You got to be nice. Or at the very least, you got to just mind your business. You can't be corny and be like, and be involved in like this type of grimy shit. Like, you can't be the Drake that sings the melodies and also be the Drake that acts tough. And I feel like he doesn't have any friends to explain it. And this proves to me, I don't care what y'all say, he don't got nobody in his life that cares about him. They all look at him as a meal ticket, and they will kill the golden goose if it means he'll get $20 more. Drake has officially ended his career. He's retired. You guys, Drake has announced his retirement. Drake announced his retirement from the music industry. He's announced his retirement from the music industry. Kendrick won with no paid views. I don't have Spotify or Apple because I'm not paying them $9.99. It's principle. I'm not paying them $9.99 a month, right? Or $14.99. I think when Spotify went up to $14.99 or $10.20, I was like, get out of here. I'm sick of paying cable for whatever. I had Not Like Us and all the Kendrick stuff playing on YouTube Music, because yes, I do have YouTube Premium. My point is, you can't, and half the shit they put on the radio, I don't even listen to. And the people I know are kind of into the same vibe. You cannot fake what Not Like Us did. You can't fake what Like That did. Drake don't want to talk about Euphoria. Drake don't want to talk about Meet the Grams. Drake don't want to talk about any of that. Drake don't even want to talk about Kendrick's new album. Drake only wants to talk about Not Like Us because he still can't understand how Kendrick did what Drake could never accomplish in his whole career when he had the whole industry putting him on this black. Oh my God. Let's talk about Lil Wayne really quick. Lil Wayne talking about, somebody told me Wayne tweeted, don't wake. I wish I could show the text exchange. Talking about, please, 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 I beg of you, don't wake the sleeping giant. And I literally text back, who's the sleeping giant? Is somebody joining the beef? Lil Wayne, little 3 dreads hanging on by a lean cup, dread head Wayne. It's talking about don't wait to sleep. But listen, Wayne is a legend. He's an icon. His legacy will always be respected. But the Wayne we see now is not on, excuse my charisma, like literally, oh my God, peanuts to an elephant. I got through that line like a subject to a predicate. That's not the same Rain. It's not. And also, wasn't Corey Guns or Peter Guns' son Wayne's ghostwriter for a minute? Excuse my Peter Guns' son, I forget his name. I want to say Corey Guns. I might be wrong. Wasn't he Lil Wayne's ghostwriter? Again, Wayne is an icon. He's a legend. Love the hell out of Wayne, but Wayne is seeing better days and better ways. Wayne, please. First of all, I feel like all the Cash Money is delusional at this point. All the Young Money is delusional at this point. Drake, Wayne, yo, they put something in that water. Also, Maneuver said Drake is combustion man. All right, Maneuver, you got me on that. He said Drake is combustion man, not Zuko. You know what? You got me on that because at the end of the day, even Zuko wised up. Even Zuko got on the thing. You're right. Drake is combustion man. Okay. He is. I said Miranda Tumazi. Thank you, Miranda Tumazi. I like that last name, Tumazi. Oh, mama, and look at your picture. She a model. Fellas, Miranda might be single. Look at that, Ivy. She said you are so on point and so funny. Oh, thank you, Miranda. Yo, Drake, listen, it's sad, but Drake, I'm sorry, combustion, right? Combustion. Yo, man, he is combustion. Listen, Drake is Drake is cooked. Drake announced his retirement. You guys, what's today's date? Drake really announced his retirement. Everybody is Drake announced his retirement, and we were there to see how did you go from just giving like a friendly fade. Granted, he destroyed you, and you were a weirdo, but you can come back. There are people trying to forgive Diddy. You could come back, maybe. Because what did you do to that puppy in the room for all the dogs? Maybe. But why did you destroy your thing? You guys, in the next week, we are going to see the true takedown of Drake. And we might even see the embassy get raided. Yo, listen, thoughts and prayers to Drake's career. Macy's girl 21 said, funny how the name dropped Apple. Funny how he name dropped Apple but didn't sue them. Also, isn't Cali an at-will state? They can fire who they want to. That is true. So California is at will. I do think Drake had some type of employment contract. That's why he wasn't allowed to rest and go hide after that. They not like us. They literally put him out to work and made him find the sound. On top of that, let's also not forget that he also is going on tour starting in Australia. But you know what? You're right. It's funny how he did name drop Apple, but he didn't sue them. Drake has some type of deal with Apple. Macy's girl, you're on the money. Listen. The pressure is getting worse. The plot thickens. Woo! Listen. Wayne needs to sit himself down. He is a legend. He is an icon. But right now, you know what he reminds me of? You know, you remember Rocky, right? Remember Rocky? Which one was it? Rocky 4 or 5? When like something happened and he was all depressed and drinking and all out of shape and like, you know, Fluffy Dimmick style. And like they had to go and remind him who the MF he is. And then he had to like jog up steps and be like, getting strong. girl, remember Rocky? And then he stepped up in that piece and was like, yeah, I'm back. Y'all remember Rocky, right? I feel like Wayne right now is Rocky, but he's the Rocky that stopped believing in himself. He's the Rocky that had to be yelled at to jog behind the car. You know, he's the Rocky that stopped believing in himself. And he needs to remember who he is. But while you're remembering who you are, you need to get up and start like running, right? Because like, yeah, I think that's what, no. I listen, I do think that Wayne is Rocky. He is the hometown chap. You can't compare Kendrick to Wayne. They're both very, very talented. I would say because Kendrick does not appear to have 3 dreads hanging on for his life, and Kendrick does not appear to have any substance issues, and Kendrick does not appear to be anti-Black the way Wayne is. He supported the Thin Blue Line. He said racism doesn't exist. He was against Black Lives Matter, and he is a known colorist, saying his daughter Regina was going to be the last dark-skinned girl he ever had, when at the end of the day, she looked just like you. How much hate can you have in your heart that you don't like somebody that look like the same skin color as you, right? Little Wayne is a POS. He's a great legend, but come on now. Come on. I won't want him to be my neighbor for plenty of reasons. My point in saying all this is, right, I would argue that Kendrick is more talented than Wayne, because Kendrick don't have Wayne's vices. Kendrick is a businessman. Kendrick is a Pulitzer Prize winning writer. Kendrick is a scholar. He is a laureate. Kendrick is a family man. Kendrick did the best he could to keep his family together. Kendrick says Whitney is his best friend, and no matter what they go through, she is the first person he calls to run things through. That is his advisor. Kendrick got 2 kids and a beautiful wife. Kendrick, to me, is a more round person. Kendrick is what Wayne might have been if he hadn't taken a left turn to grape flavored lean deal or whatever you call that place. You know, I'm just saying. And again, maybe some of his stuff is written, like some of the stuff that Wayne said, maybe it was because of his addictions. I don't know. He might have gotten clean by now. I don't know. The point of the matter is, Kendrick, to me, is who Wayne would be if Wayne had learned to love himself more, from his face, his skin color, and who he is. And Kendrick grew up in trauma, but he found a way to work through it, right? So my whole point is, you can't compare them. They're both legends, but Kendrick is that type of legend that we are seeing the making of, who was already going to be legendary, into a pop culture lexicon. We are seeing the actual descent and rise, right? Wayne was like, girl, interrupted. He is now a legend. Go sit your ass down, or put on that gray sweatsuit and go run up the Philadelphia Art Museum steps and get back in fighting shape. But right now, it's a pipe dream to think that Wayne is in any type of shape to go up against Kendrick. This mofo can't even remember his lyrics and was freestyling on stage, sounding like a hot mess. Yeah, cookies and cream, it's a dream. And yeah, cookie, cream, I love the cookie and cream, it's the dream. Hey, I say my girl say she love me. My girl said that was what this fool was doing on stage. Literally, it looked like somebody took the neighborhood crackhead, shade the neighborhood crackhead, because I know it is physical and kicking addiction is hard. So I don't mean to despair someone to act like the neighborhood crackhead is less than, but I mean in the Friday version of the neighborhood crackhead, like they took Felicia and put her on stage and gave her a mic and a beat, and that's what it sounded like. It's ridiculous that people are trying to act like Wayne is the champ. Talking about don't wake the sleeping giant. You are asleep off a lean. Get out of here. God, don't wake don't wake the sleeping giant. Sir, I know a great tinted lean slumber when I see one. And again, let me just say this. I do not in any way, shape, or form think that Wayne is on lean right now. I say jokes. He says, I assume he has gotten clean. I do have serious concerns as to his general physical and mental health right now. I wish him well. I just don't think he's in the shape to go up against Kendrick. That's all. So when he said, right? When he said, what did he say? Hold on. I got the little PowerPoint presentation. Y'all know I love a good PowerPoint presentation. When he said, look at Drake. Hold on a second. Look at Drake right here. Look at this, right? Oh, also, Drake is also such a thing, calling Steve Lacy a fragile op. You got all, look at this. Rap music is weird now. Here's Drake playing with his floppy little elephant. And then the kitten, look how scared the kitten goes. What are you doing to that kitten at the embassy? Like that kitten looks like, and then Steve Lacy. He started beef with Steve Lacy after out of everyone in the world. Out of everybody in the world, you started beef with Steve Lacy. I wish I knew. Ooh, what you do? Out of everybody in the world, you started beef with Steve Lacy. You got YG on the stage. You got Chris Brown on stage. You got half of Southern California on the stage. And you literally started a beef with Steve Lacy, calling him a fragile op. Literally, I get it. He was low-key trying to see that Steve Lacy go both ways. Now you shaming people for their sexuality. I don't know what Steve Lacy's into, but are you trying to shame people? Imagine the most fragile. He said this with his chest. Steve Lacy didn't care. He was like, shout out to my fragile op. And Solange liked it. Who trying to be my fragile op? And then, listen, like Busy Bee said, Aubrey randomly dissing Steve Lacy for what, man? This is y'all goat. Exactly. Why are you dissing Steve Lacy's, right? Listen, this is Lil Wayne. He said, Lil Wayne, Wheezy F. Man, what the F I do? I just be chilling and they still come for my head. Is Lil Wayne trying to act like him, Nicki, and Drake didn't gang up to start an online hate campaign? You're going to act like you wasn't crying into the cameras because you felt like you deserved the Super Bowl? Man, what I do, I just be chilling. Let's not take kindness for weakness. Where's the kindness? You tried to dethrone him, but you couldn't. Let this giant sleep. Wayne, read your own message. I beg you all. No one really wants destruction, not even me, but I shall destroy it, disturb, on me love. Somebody take that man's cup away. Take his cup away. Because first of all, you know what I think? Drake had this all planned out. Drake's been collabing with Lil Wayne. I think that Wayne and them been in the studio waiting for a moment to diss Kendrick. And I think they have the bomb. They're even trying to create that moment when Drake went after Kendrick and Kendrick was like, yo, let's just keep it to a friendly fade. And then Drake took it a step too far. And then Kendrick destroyed Drake's career. Wayne, you really think you got that power to destroy Kendrick's career? God. Anyway, also, really quick, can I leave you guys with something? I just want to show you guys something. Okay, hold on, really quick. This is really good. Let me just cook, right? It's really good. I want to pull it up for those of you guys who didn't see. Let's see. Where are we at? No, let's see. No, where is it? Okay, hold on really quick. I want to show you guys the Drake video I made about his man unit. It is so funny. I just wish I could find it. You guys thought that I was bullshitting. I think I have it somewhere. Oh, here we go. Hold on. I'm going to play it really quick. 1 second. And I'm going to share my screen. Okay, hold on. Just let me cook for 2 seconds, okay? Let me just share the screen really quick. Where is it? Okay, here we go. And where you at? Let's make this a full screen, shall we? Okay. Now we're sharing. Hold on, listen to this, you guys. My name is the Drake Glazers. I have a special gift for you.
Damn,
You
this
see,
smells good.
last week I did an expose on how Drake's main Glazer account had posted a falsified police document that was falsified sloppily and stupidly, might I add, to justify Drake being a petty queen, right? And basically canceling Schoolboy Q's and also Sir's. Basically, any TD artist is not welcome in Toronto. To which TDE said, boy, the whole Bay Area plus Southern California on lock. Better go ahead with that, right? And all the Drake Glazers literally swarmed me. How dare you? How dare you? You stay in a woman's place. So I said, okay, I will. Because as a woman, there's one thing I know. It's a good weave. It's a good lace front. Baby, it's a good wig. So let's talk about woman things and how once again Drake is in the middle of it. Now listen, at the end of the day, Drake ain't beating these allegations. You got a wig, and yes, I got proof. You've been wearing a wig. You've been buying Birkins. You've been cozied up with Little Yachty. Who is it? Odell Beckham Jr. and whoever else. You've been wearing 28 diamond rings. Talking about they for your wife, baby. All right, Drake. Let's get into this. Now, let me take you on my magic journey because you have to know what made me start this. Let me cook. It's going to get good, right? Because not only is Drake a cultural, not only is he a colonizer, not only does he culture appropriate, not only does he tell him get where you get your abs from, but he got the whole Insta baddie package. Not only do he be rocking a bad lace front, hand sewn,
I have
knitted, or whatever they be doing in Southeast Asia. This fool also, not only he be rocking a bad lace front, he also got the Insta baddie BBL, and he got a lace front. Drake is a baddie, and you will respect him as such. And I want to say to all the Drake Glazers, I'm sorry. I didn't know that I was like in competition with the baddie. You trying to tell me to bow down, Drake? I bow down to you because your lace front was on point. And you know what the funny thing is? Like everything else, if y'all left me alone, I never would have gotten proof. But you know, now we're going to get into it. So here was the first thing. I made jokes about this, but the women, y'all knew what I was talking about. When you look at this is when Drake was acting like he was really Joan Crawford or whoever from the Katharine Hepburn from the Philadelphia Story. Look at him, Hancock, got the ring sitting there, right? Just looking. I know he was listening to JT on the way to Adonis's soccer match. I'm pretty as a husband, looking okay. He said, literally, I know he was listening to okay like JT doing the. I used to be damn bad, but now, bitch, right? Literally, he was doing the okay dance, right? Anyway, look at it. Got the diamond ring on. I guess he's showing off. He got Tupac's ring. Baby, you got Tupac's ring and Faith Evans' lace front. I don't even know what's going on over there. So he's bragging. He still got Tupac's lip ring. He wearing wide leg pants that are
nipped good. Hold on.
the stomach. I know a feminine fit because I got some pants that fit like that too. Drake's probably mad that I can wear it with a bra top and he got to put it on a t-shirt because he can't come out with his tatas looking like that. I'm just saying. And I saw the parts. And girls, you know what I'm talking about. If you have ever worn a weave, wig, lace front, I have done all three. If y'all see me with neon green hair, just know I didn't dye my own hair, right? I like to look like Aeon Flux sometimes, right? Anyway, I looked at the parts. And for those of you guys that don't know about lace fronts, you have to pluck the part. The problem is sometimes you pluck the part too deep and you get this effect. Or even worse, sometimes the lace front's so old that the tension from the part be doing that, right? And I looked and I'm like, why is Drake's part so deep? He doesn't have, like, it's not like he has thin hair? Why are his parts so deep? And I said, does his braider hate his guts? What is going on
Now he
here,
got a
right?
bald spot.
You see Drake earlier, parts aren't that deep. Now here you can tell he got the Kinkalon hair braiding feeding. Ain't no shame in that, Drake. Woman to woman, I feel you. Here you can tell he has the Kinkalon feeding, but it's still his own hair. You see how deep the parts are. They are nowhere as wide as these rivers running through the Toronto Alps, canyons, or whatever, right? Drake is so corny, by the way. But let's keep going, right? Hold on, we're going to get to the point. So anyway, I remember Drake posted this from Instagram, and I'm like, okay, right? The amount of, yes, this is petty woman's business. So if you're not a woman, stay out of it unless you want to hear this tea, then we're going to talk. And I said, why the amount of hair you got keep changing? And everybody always talks about how tight Drake's braids are. Right here, if you can't tell, you can see his baby hairs being pulled out and the little white roots are sitting there. And I said, yeah, but even with your whole hair braided on the side, you don't got that much hair. Like your hair is not very thick, right? Where are you getting, again, these double braids? So you see how there's two braids sitting on there? Where's all this hair coming from? And why are the parts so thick? It's just not making sense. Even Drake sometimes will pop out with his wet and wavy. Remember, he had his wet and wavy duck lips and like literally got more gel in his hair than me. And I said, so this is your natural amount of hair. So where's all this coming from? I need more information. So that's when I went back to 2022. This is where Drake started his wig era. He is an Insta-baddie to his heart. See, a lot of y'all don't remember. Shout out to Zebby Universe. See, Drake had a problem, okay? Drake needed to somehow pop off and colonize something else because he heard that all the kids in Blackity Black Nation was wearing straight backs, right? So Drake had just launched his certified lover boy era, right? Y'all remember he was wearing the low fade. He had like the heart shape etched into his hair. He had a nice little fade. He was in his certified lover boy era. Okay. Now, this is, I think, as recently as, I don't know, sometime in 2023. This is in this whole time of him wearing his hair braided. How much his hair grow out? To which I say, your hair braider hates you. Yeah, ish looks thin. Maybe it was always thin. Drake, let them roots rest. But your mama don't know that because she never got braids growing up. But if you had a black mama, she would have told you, you gotta let your hair rest in between when you get your hair braided, right? Anyway, let's get back to this. Because he was in his certified lover boy era. Then magically, and when I say magically, I mean overnight, he went down to the Caribbean or wherever he is, St. Lucia, wherever Kendrick say he be doing this stuff. And he came back on Instagram and he had these braids and these plaits and he had it laid. And this is what he looked like literally a day before. I believe this was March 22nd, 2022 or March 12th. Go ahead and Google it because the whole internet, at least the men, because they didn't know, was like, how Drake's hair grow so long so quickly. But hold on, y'all. I have more info. Now, again, this is his hair from, I think, November 2023. This is the way he popped up on Instagram. Literally, he was in a certified lover boy era and he popped up on Instagram. This was, I think, in March, either the 12th or 22nd of 2022. In 24 hours, he popped up with this bad, like the braids. He got the little thing. And I said, nice try, Drake. I know a lace front more and I see one. Hold on, y'all. There's more because I got receipts. This is, he had his hair cut low. He went down there. He popped up with a do-rag. This is also when he had his Habibi come to Dubai. He had gotten his, Drake got his whole face with implants, right? He gave himself more of a bridge, definitely gave himself a jawline and a twin. This is in his Habibi era. And he popped up with his do-rag on Instagram, okay? Now, a week prior, this was Drake. Now, I want y'all to know, because guys, y'all know how the lineup be, right? Y'all know how the lineup be. How did he get full on braids Even if you believe and you're dumb enough to believe that his hair grew in a week, what about the etching with his heart? Where'd that go? Because that was it then. How did the hairdresser, the braider, cover that up? But there's more. This is less than 6 days before he debuted it. This is 5 days before he went to that island. Again, certified lover boy area, little face top. This one he was trying to look like Odell Beckham Jr. Had a heart etched in his head. Hold on, we got more, right? Y'all remember this. It's all over the internet. Just Google it if you don't remember it. Less than 5, this is him, 4 or 3 business days before he went down to that island. This is 4 business days later. He popped up with these straight backs, right? And he popped up looking like this. Everybody said the same thing. Oh, they must have did a feed and a fake hair. But any woman knows your hair ain't grown that fast. And you had those straight backs working all the way back. There, you can go into the mountains of Kenya. Can't nobody catch hair that easily, right? So there, you guys. I ask of ye, what actually happened? Hold on, let me just do this. I ask you guys, what actually happened with that? Well, your girl got some proof since y'all wanted to get some receipts. And I just thought about having fun because it makes the Drake glazes so very, very, very upset. And that makes me so very, very happy. So we're going to keep deconstructing your king. Kendrick might have him down on some Hannibal Lecter, understand what type of time he's. Side note, I'm not bullying Drake. They were harassing me at that time. The Drake glazers were literally harassing me. They were crazy But as for me, I'll stick to the beauty shop stuff, right? Again, look at Drake's, okay? This is Drake's braids right here, Drake braids right here, Drake braids right here. All different amounts of hair, all different size parts. Again, how does that happen? Well, I'll tell y'all how it happens, okay? This is Adonis wondering like, oh Lord, why can't he just let me be a little French child in peace? Look at him looking at Adonis don't got the follicles for that. Again, look at Drake's part. It's not that deep. And he has those same baby hairs, right? But if you guys will notice, and I have to tell you guys, you know, sometimes Drake's head looks normal size. And then sometimes it looks like not lumpy, but it just looks bigger. That's because his own hair is gelled down under this. Poor Adonis. Look at that little boy's face. Like, oh Lord, please stop trying to make me into the toughest, ruggedest thing. This is what Drake's doing. If you guys don't know, there are wigs for men that are lace fronts. They are units and they are pre-braided. Again, they even come with the amount of baby hair you wanted. This gentleman right here preferred more baby hair. Drake prefers less baby hair, but there's more because I got more evidence just in case y'all didn't know it existed. And it's no shame to wearing a wig. If y'all ever see me with blonde or any other hair behind black, you know it's a weave. And if you ever see me with a 30-inch black bust down, you know that's a weave too. There is something called a man weave. Again, they have it right there, right? They braid it and they put the baby hairs, the same baby hairs Drake loves. Hold on, pause. Dame Dash, pause. Miranda, Mussy said it's getting crazy, scary, spooky, and hilarious. Thank you, gorgeous. Also, Quinn, hey, beautiful. She said Tisa was tearing Drake up left, right, and center on this day. Quinn, you remember this. This was an OG one. Okay, let's get back to the presentation because Drake does have a man unit, and that bald spot we were talking about earlier, this is where it came from. But hold on, it's almost done. We have even more damning evidence but there's more, right? This is a Drake unit, but without the baby hairs. As you can see, he is not American. Drake did pay enough attention to our culture to know that we love a good baby hair. We love a good baby hair. Baby, your hair is not done till you see that swoop. Here we do. I think this is Malibu Doll Face. He actually does lace fronts and installs. He has great tutorials on YouTube. Again, all this is a lace front, even the baby hairs. Again, Drake lines his baby hairs up. Malibu Doll Face does a little bit more swoop, a little more pizzazz. Need more things? You will see braided hair unit. Google braided hair unit. Do you notice that all these units look like what Drake's doing? They even have the same amount of parts. Have you noticed? Again, The clear giveaway with Drake is the way sometimes his head, his skull, his dome, when he got his straight backs, look regular size. And sometimes it just looks bigger. Little Nas X, look at this one in the right-hand corner. I'm gonna hurt though. Little Nas X famously wears lace fronts, men units, all that stuff. Everything you see on this page is a lace front unit. Look at this gentleman right here, right? He got the bald spot. Even though if I was him, I would just shave my hair bald because he looks nice with a bald head. I'm looking at the guy in the bottom left-hand corner. But you see, when they put that unit on, you got the same straight backs. You have the same braids. You even have the same braid style that Drake goes to. Again, tell me how a man that's been keeping his hair braided up since 2022 only got 3 inches of wet and wavy to show. Tell me how a man was on his certified lover boy era, went down to the Caribbean really quick and came back with a full head of straight backs. But it was a man unit because he even got the hair. Baby, you can fool those Toronto girls. I know what a weave unit looked like. I know what a wick look. Again, right here, this guy. Do you see this guy right here with the straight backs? All of this is a weave unit. That white piece you see right there on the side of the skull, that's a tape they use to hold down the unit. Again, ain't no shame in wearing a wig. We need to expose Drake, even though I think this gentleman right here should just shave his hair off. I mean, yeah, I'm sure he looks good with this. Is the man weave transportation number 8, cut by Kamaha Studio, right? Again, we see it right there. Y'all see it. This is the before, this is the after. You see the gentleman down there, before and after. Look at this transformation when this guy got a little side Milli Vanilli action going on. I know you like that. Let's keep going, shall we? Let's zoom in. Does this not look like a certain rapper's hair? Does it not look like all the intricate styles? And before y'all say, but he poses with his hairdresser all the time. So do Instabaddies. Instabaddies post with their trainers all the time. And they went to Dr. Miami to get the curls. Instabaddies all the time pose with their hairdressers talking about it's my real hair. And the hairdresser in the back is laying down the 30 inches bust down. Again, you guys, the man unit. But there's more because I'm not the only one that noticed this, right? More man units by Drake. Listen, and the thing is, you buy the man units already braided. They measure your hair, and then when they send it, all you gotta do is put the toupee tape down, and you are done. Again, everything you see on this on the screen is a man unit. But y'all, there's more. Hold on, there is more. I know it's going a little bit slow, but hold on, we're gonna cook. Again, more braids and man units right here. Do you see these twists? Do they not look like the twist that fed in the braids that Drake had in his thing when he was making duck lips and it looked like the girl was braiding her hair? Boy, she wasn't braiding her hair. She was securing that toupee. Again, toupees have evolved. Again, here go Drake and his #1 bad B. How could it? This picture speaks for itself. And little Yachty don't even like Black women, which, you know, I realize that guys that don't like Black women, if they're Black, right? It's a lot of self-hate because how can you hate women that look like you, your sister, your mother, your cousin, your mom? If you look at someone that looks like you and think they're ugly, not just but ugly, what do you think about yourself when you look in the mirror every day? That must be a horrible, horrible life. Anyway, right? I wasn't the only one that noticed this. Double XL posted, Drake, they was trying to play him. You know, I had to go into the archive. Drake gets his hair braided and people are confused. This was by C. Vernon Coleman II. And it was published March 12th, 2022. Let me tell you something. C. Vernon did his job on this one. Okay. Now they posted various photos. Well, this is me adding in the photos of Drake, right? But they said, late last night on March 11th, the certified lover boy rapper shared photos of his new hairstyle. That's when he had the straight backs. Drake has traded in those curly locks for cornrows. He uploaded 2 selfies on his Instagram story that show him with 6 braids in his hair. Prior to that, you remember certified lover boy, he had a Caesar and a heart etched into it. We all remember this. He never grew his hair out. And because Drake is such an insta baddie at heart, all he does is post on social media. Okay. They look at him being shady. The new look confused many people who wondered aloud if Drake used weave here in his braids, considering the OVO boss hair was seemingly too short to get braided recently. They said, is that synthetic wig or a human hair that helped to fill in on Drake's hair? Now, again, there ain't no, unless you literally gelled your hair and then glued it with weave glue down, because there wasn't enough hair to even grab. I braid hair. I braided plenty of my family members' hair. I'm telling you, there wasn't much. All right. Let's keep going into what the people got to say. Drake had short hair 2 days ago. Now this ninja got braids. Others assume Drake is in album mode again. You know Drake is about to release music when he's unlocking a new character or personality. The Braids era. Some people was already on Drake. Was that who was it? Whatchamacallit tweeting from his burner account, Kendrick Lamar. They said Drake kept it pretty simple over the years when it comes to hair. The last time Drake's hair made headlines, he got a heart shape cut into his hair in promotion for Certified Lover Boy. The rhymer has been the topic of internet jokes multiple times this year. In January, he was the butt of social media memes after news broke that Rihanna was pregnant with A$AP Rocky's child. A few days later, a photo of Drake staring. Y'all remember that, right? Listen. Anyway, that's what it was. Social media comments about Drake's new hairstyle below. They said Drake went to Turks with Drake went to Turks. That's where his little spot is. Drake went to Turks with Jack Harlow, and now he has weave braids. Another one said, when did Drake get enough hair for braids? Again, we just saw him a week ago. Somebody said, oh, Drake, so is it a lace or nah? How did he manage to get large size braids when he barely had a teeny weeny afro just a few days ago? Again, he had a flat top Caesar. Somebody said, I don't hate Drake's braids at all. That was probably Certified Jared on his Twitter account. Drake got them Shamar Moore braids from Diary of a Mad Black Woman. Another person said, I got to see the back of Drake's braids. If he got hang time, we got to start asking questions. I already asked the questions. It's a wig, baby. It's a wig. They said Drake really got certified lover braids now. Another person said Drake's brain if he ends up sneezing with them Shamar Moore braids on his head. Let's not forget the Shamar Moore braids were, in fact, a wig. They said Rihanna's number is doing a number on Drake. He went and got braids. They said, when the F did Drake grow his hair out? They said Drake having braids now, and I guess they loved it. Y'all, but there's more. They said barbers got to be relieved now that Drake got braids. They don't have to edge out heart outlines and grown men's hairlines. And then another person said, where the F did Drake get hair for cornrows from? Listen, another person said, Drake is 50 years old with neck braids. I know you lied. Another person said, bro, ain't no way Drake had enough hair for straight backs. Another person said, how Drake go from having short hair in that Jack Harlow video to having braids? That's right. He was also in the video, but we saw him with his Certified Lover Boy 3 days before. Anyway, y'all, listen, let me know what you think in the comments. I just wanted to I'll do a video tomorrow. Anyway, that was my ear when I was having so much fun dragging Drake every day. Cousin Pam 77, thank you so much for the super sticker. Listen, let me know what you think in the comments. I'm going to keep following this Drake thing. I'm not going to do a live, but I'll make a whole bunch of videos tomorrow on it because Lucian Grange is about to destroy Drake. And Drake has announced his retirement. Listen, shout out to Drake. I mean, let me know what you think in the comments. I'll talk to you later. Bye.